Today in the podcast, I had a great chat with a good friend of mine, Kory. You could check him out on the fifhtap.com. That is THE5THTAPPED.com. Check him out, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. And our old pal, the Howester, just might be there to say hello. Okay, I lied. He's in the entire episode. I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome everybody back to Not Rich Just Bored, episode number 72. I'm joined with Kory and Ryan.
Hey,
I never even talked to you, Kory, but what do you want me to call you for the episode? Because I don't really use people's real names because I don't want, unless they're already famous and they came on here, then I'd be like, whatever. But
you
know me, I'm already famous, so.
Well, like I'll use their first names, but I don't want people to get doxxed and stuff. So usually people will like use their online name, like Sass Kyle, for example. I mean, that guy's a loser. He's not coming back on, but
he's kicked off the show.
Yeah, kicked off permanently. I'll just say Wishbonedouglas.
You can call me Kory, you can call me Doug, whatever.
I'll say episode 72 with Justin Trudeau's liberal cousin.
You act like I like Justin Trudeau. Like, shut the fuck up.
I like him. He's cute. No. Have you seen like Andrew Scheer and Pierre Poilievre? It's just not as handsome, guys. I'm in it for the looks, not the ability. Come on. Why do you think we voted for Joe Biden? He's a fucking Chad. Okay, but seriously, did you guys see the Joe Biden's like speech the other day where it was like America can be summed up in one word? It's just like he makes up like 4 words.
I saw a meme of that, and Howester here maybe fucking sent it to me.
Oh, I might have. Yeah.
And it was like ordering Chinese food. Oh god.
Oh my god. That guy is just so the Joe Biden, I wait for the new speech, the new quote of the week, because it's so good. There was a recent one this week. I can't remember what it was, but it was so hilarious. He just like made up a random word. It was like, oh yeah, I think he was talking about something about Greenland or something, and he's like, we're gonna stand with Greenland and lick it all up. What? He literally said, like, you guys gotta look it up. I'm butchering it, but it was something like we're gonna get licked together. And I'm like, did he just, is that like a boomer reference, or did he say licking it or something?
I think he's having a stroke every second speech.
But you voted for him. He's liberal.
How can I vote for him? We're in Canada.
Well, and your criminal record. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Too much burnouts in your Mustang.
Honestly, I've done 1 burnout in that car.
Ever?
Yeah, ever. I've had that car for like 10 years.
Oh, yeah. You started the Alberta wildfires with your gender.
Yeah, and then I stopped.
You did your gender reveal.
Yeah.
You put like,
and then I ran into a crowd of people.
You put like the blue powder in your exhaust. You're like, yeah. And then there's
okay, Cody. You can shit talk it all you want, but you know, like we raced, and I mean, my car won. So
yeah, it did.
What are you talking about? I won. It was my gray Daytona that didn't win.
Well, hold up here. Hold up. I didn't even have that car.
Yeah, no, I did. I told you. Remember when we go to Denny's and I tell the people, I'm like, yeah, he's just my butler.
Just my butler.
He's my butler, drives me around, and I sit in the back like Batman.
It is once in a while he'll go, yeah, just take care of the car, will you?
That also reminds me, I haven't talked to Kory in a very long time, so I was going to ask you, because I know you're a fan of Batman. Did you watch the new Batman with Rob Pattinson?
I did watch it. I think I watched it in the theaters, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then it came on Crave, and then I watched it again.
What did you
'Cause I
think
was-
of that rendition with Rob?
So I liked it, but like I wanted to like it more because Batman's my favorite like DC superhero.
Of
But
course.
there was a couple things in it that I wanted him to be a bit more badass than he was. So you remember the spoiler alert, but I hope just
Oh,
skip
yeah.
past this if you haven't watched the movie.
We did a review like 20 episodes ago, so people,
Okay, good.
if you guys haven't watched the Batman by now, spoiler alert, but you suck.
I don't know. I haven't watched any of your episodes. It's a shit show.
That's true.
Okay, but
I was happy about
Um,
200 viewers on like a recent episode. I was like, oh my god,
oh damn.
Holy.
moving up in the
Um,
world. Anyways,
So anyway, as I was saying before, rudely interrupted the whole time. Jeez, I'm the guest. Like, give me some slack here.
sorry.
And so that scene where he jumps the car, right, and like that whole car chase scene, probably the best scene for me in the movie. But it was like, oh, Batman's so badass. He's jumping this car through the flames, and Penguin's like, oh shit, I'm gonna get fucked up. My shit's fucked up, and and but then he like flips him, and he's upside down. Penguin's upside down, and Batman like walks over, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. Music's playing, flames are behind Batman. Badass guy, doesn't look at explosions, and then he walks up, and then he gets down on his hands and knees to look at him in the car, and I was like, oh my god, like he looks like a fucking child. Like, why did they put that scene in there? Like, was I the only one that thought that?
I don't like specifically remember that. Like, I don't remember him kneeling down like that, but like that is kind of weird. If you just think of him like kneeling down like that, it is kind of
And like the shot looked so good of just like his feet being there and his cape kind of blowing between his feet, and they could have just kept it. But then it was like he kneels down to look in the car, and I'm like, okay, you kind of killed it.
Daddy,
But-
are you awake? Daddy, are you awake? That's all they added in there. The part about that scene that I thought was ridiculous is that Batman doesn't kill, but he killed like 40 truckers there. So
Oh, that's true. Innocent people.
yeah,
Yeah.
must have been a freedom convoy. Just Batman was liberal. He was like, I can kill these people. But honestly, I like that Batman was very broody in that movie, and like very like when he was Bruce Wayne, he was very dark. Oftentimes people always criticize that there's not enough Bruce Wayne in a lot of those movies, where like
That's true.
Christian Bale was almost The Dark Knight was almost all like he was Bruce Wayne for like 20 minutes maybe in each movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't very often. But
I mean, no
you're
one's
watching
going
Batman.
to the Batman movie. Yeah, they're not going to the Batman movie to be like, oh, what's Bruce Wayne doing today? Going to get his bagel?
Yeah. But I did like that he was like kind of broody and like he was weird. He was like stalking Selena Kyle and stuff, like with like the binoculars and shit like that. Like he was kind of like a low key creep or something. He's weird, but
Well, and I feel like the kiss scene between them was kind of like it wasn't earned. It like I didn't feel like there was much chemistry between the two. Like they were working for a common goal sort of thing, but then they kissed, and it just seemed kind of shoved in there because it's like, oh, Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle.
yeah.
You know?
I think I mentioned that when we talked about it earlier in the pod was that it felt a little forced, that relationship or whatever romance. It felt a little forced, but I did like the amount of I will say I think it was the first Batman honestly that did real detective work, because
That's true.
Batman is like a detective in a way, like in a lot of the Arkham games.
Well,
you have detective
also
mode.
isn't DC Detective Comics or something like that?
It
is.
It literally is. Yeah, it's actually DC Comics, so it's Detective Comics.
Comics.
Yeah, so
Weird.
it's fucking stupid, but yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't have his computer like do everything for him, sort of thing. Like he was in the Batcave, but it wasn't like a big crazy scene of all these huge high tech computers doing all his work for him.
Yeah.
I remember right, I don't know. I don't remember seeing that scene. But yeah, you're right. He did do a lot of detective work, and it wasn't. Not that I didn't like the Christian Bale ones, but yeah, it's like, oh, here's my high tech minigun shooting all these things, and I'm looking at it and putting it in the computer, and it's analyzing, and
Yeah.
cool at the time. But I did also like this rendition of Batman for sure.
Yeah, I thought in like sorry, Ryan, in the game versions and stuff, there's the detective stuff where you're looking for clues, and that's kind of the part of Batman that was like his origin story almost. He was kind of like a vigilante detective. So I thought it was cool that they added that instead of, like you said, Alfred scanned his blood sample.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
What did you think of the Riddler?
Oh man, I loved it. So like I wanted to go into that movie. I watched like their main trailer or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch anything else about this. I find that with Marvel movies, you end up seeing way too much in the trailer, and some of those, especially some of those funny scenes, and you're like, something happens, somebody does a little quirky line, and then you watch it in the movie theater, and you're like, oh, that was ruined. That would have been much better if I didn't know that. So I watched that, didn't want to watch anything else. So went into it flat like that. I didn't even know who was playing the Riddler.
Yeah.
So then when I saw it was
Paul Dano.
Yeah, Paul Dano, and I was like, oh man, I love Paul Dano. And then he was a little weird when he was Riddler. Oh god, what's Riddler's real person name?
Gosh, I'm not even too sure.
Edward Enigma, isn't it?
Edward Nigma. Yeah.
Edward Nigma.
Yeah, when he was Edward Nigma in the prison, and he was being a little weird. And I was like, okay, he's being a little like, that's kind of cringe, but him with the mask on and everything and like talking into the cameras and stuff, it gave me like not Christian Bale, Heath Ledger vibes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was actually kind of scary. Like he really was.
Yeah.
And
and in that trailer too, when he's like tearing the tape open and it's like clearly beat the shit out of this one guy or something with that carpet thing we find later, but it was like, oh shit, like that's pretty brutal. And then it was like kind of went sort of incel-y, which I thought was funny, that he had like all these followers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They took a modern spin on it. It was almost like what was that far right thing? There was that far right group.
KKK?
No, it was the one that turned out to be like fake. It was totally almost a troll. What the hell was it called? I'll think about it.
I was kind of curious. So, a lot of people were. There's that one scene at the very end of the movie there where he beats the shit out of that one dude. I think that he's trying to snipe someone. I think the mayor or something. And then he takes that adrenaline shot.
Yeah.
A lot of people were thinking that's the stuff that Bane uses.
Oh, really?
Oh, the Venom.
Well,
Yeah.
Some people were wondering if that was maybe like a tease of possibly Bane being in the next movie. Like I've been hearing talk about Dr. Freeze, Bane, Two-Face, and Joker.
Who's Dr. Freeze?
Oh god, not Dr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze?
Mr. Freeze.
Same
slugs. Dr.
Cody,
Freeze.
don't be a dick. You knew it.
It's
Whatever.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's gonna reprise the role.
Yeah.
I was good
Apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger got paid like $1 million a line or something for that movie because he didn't have very many lines or something, or it was really expensive to get in the film.
Well, almost every line he did was a one-liner. It was literally
oh yeah, true.
Like a freeze is coming. Let's kick some ice. The worst one of all. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
That's like a 2-part line. Is that like a $1.5 million line right there? Or?
Well, the best part of that movie, personally, is where they're all suiting up and then it shows Batman's ass.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking of what about the Visa card or the MasterCard?
Oh God!
Don't leave the cave without it.
That's fucking
stupid.
That cringed me the fuck. Yeah,
that was a different take on Batman for sure.
Yeah,
it was definitely over the top. It was more corny. Like it was like almost more geared towards children. But then Bane was scary as fuck in those movies.
Oh, yeah, he scared me as a kid.
Oh yeah, as a kid, I'm like, this is vet. They're like pumping poison into him, and I'm like, I'm scared.
I literally had nightmares on not Bane, but fucking Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face.
Yeah, that his face.
that traumatized me as a fucking kid.
Oh my
And not
god.
only that, but like I was just like, okay, it's over. I don't ever need to see that face again. And then McDonald's was like, hey, look at all these glasses of the villains that we released. And I think it was my dad that came home with McDonald's, and it was a Two-Face mug. And I just remember how terrified I was. I didn't
Dude.
sleep for like 2 nights.
Was that those little cups and the handle for it was like a flipping coin?
I
Right?
think so. I think
We had
so.
like 2 or 3 of those at my parents' place. I think we still have them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Those things are sick.
I have no idea where. Oh my god! I assume it probably got sold in a
Dude,
garage sale or something like that.
I'm psycho. I still have my Halo 2 Slurpee cups from back in the day.
This dude's selling one for $135 on eBay.
Really?
Yeah, it's the exact one we have. We had a couple of them.
Holy shit! I had a buddy recently.
Next computer upgrade. Just kidding.
He a buddy found at like it was a garage sale or something like that. He found this like hood ornament for $1. It was like an old Chevy or something, Pontiac possibly. This massive hood ornament when they had those, and
Right.
he looked it up online, and they're going for like $3,000. I'm like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
shit.
I mean, his is not nearly in as good a condition as the one going for $3,000, but still, if you could even flip it for a couple $100, I mean, $1, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you got to find the guy that has those cars, and then the guy that needs that ornament, and is okay with it looking like a sack of shit.
I wonder if you could get that resurfaced.
I'll bet you could.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll bet you could, and then sell it for $3,000,
Yeah.
or take it to Pawn Stars, and Rick Harrison will be like, "Best I could do is $11."
I paid 10. Nice.
Oh yeah, some of those negotiations are a little fucking fucked, but yeah, that was the whole Batman thing I wanted to ask you anyway. And the other question I had for you guys, I don't know, Kory, do you play a Switch? Do you have a Nintendo Switch?
We do have a Switch. I bought it for my wife before. It was for her birthday, Christmas sort of thing. When she got pregnant, so that when she was home, she could have something to do. And I was like, and after the baby was born, like if he's sleeping or whatever, you don't get super bored. And she's not a super big gamer. She likes to play Sims, maybe,
Yeah.
And but she's like, oh, well, I don't want to go on the computer to do it. And it's easier to have the handheld. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's super wholesome. Did you get her like the handheld one or the dock one or the OLED?
Got the OLED. It had like kind of just come out actually, and I was able to snag one. And then I got her Animal Crossing, and she's been playing Stardew, and recently she's been playing 2 Point Campus, and those are kind of the games up her alley. I played a little bit of old Zelda, like if you have the Switch Online thing, you get Nintendo 64 games and all that. So I was playing some Zelda. I didn't finish it, and I played Switch Sports. We have
What Zelda were you playing?
Ocarina of Time. Sorry.
Oh, they did. Who's Mr. Freeze? Just kidding. They
I was just gonna say, I'm like, don't feel sorry. Apparently, I can't say Mr. Freeze.
I haven't had the Switch Online with the N64 games yet. I remember talking about that when it came out. I was thinking it's so stupid that they literally doubled the price of their subscription just to get N64 games on there. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, guys. But they...
And you're like, oh, here's this chump fucking paid for it. But it was for my wife, okay? So she could play online with her friends.
No, it's okay. Well, it's still, like, honestly, $40 a year isn't, you're not going to be going bankrupt.
Yeah, it's considering, like, Xbox is like $60-$70 or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But what I was saying, and I was just thinking about this, like, why the hell hasn't Nintendo released a new system yet? Like, just they gotta release like at least a Super Switch, That would be like the next progression to me, is like making like a Super Switch, something that does 4K.
Yeah.
I just think Nintendo is just so in the past at this point. Honestly, the Switch is a great system. It's awesome, but it was outdated when it came out.
Yeah.
It's been out for like what 8 years now or so, or how long has it
Which
been?
is insane to hear because I was watching a different podcast and they were talking about the new Zelda game coming out, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, and Breath of the Wild came out 6 years ago." I was like, "Holy shit, man! Like that does not feel like 6 years ago that game came out, and they're still selling it for $70."
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It was 2017. It came out March 3rd. So it's 6 years. Like
Yeah,
that's insane, man. That they haven't. That's the thing about Nintendo. They haven't made a new system, and also, like you just mentioned, all their games they never go down in price, ever.
like there
Like
might be a sale once a year, and instead of say the game's $70, it's 55. It's not a huge
exactly.
sale.
It'll be
Yeah.
like
Uh,
20 off.
One game I was looking at a little while ago was the Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breaking Point. I think it's
Breakpoint.
Yeah, that's the newest one, I think.
Yeah.
And like that game, what I found out is you gotta wait. They do these. Ubisoft does this like sneaky one-day sales. Hey, like that
Yeah.
game is $90, I think.
It's
if I
still
remember.
$90.
And that's a game that came out in 2019. And the fact that it's still like 80, $90 for it, but when it goes on sale, it goes down to $20.
I think that's the thing. Ubisoft does really good with that. Well, because like I have a Series X, so like I see sales all the time, and Ubisoft being on Game Pass sort of
Mhm.
thing. So like I get the notifications of sales all the time. So like their sales might only be a day, but it seems like they have a sale every month. It seems like it's
Oh, yeah.
pretty consistent.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Well,
It's just weird though because like, if you look at the Steam reviews for it, like people just bash the crap out of it. 'Cause
Well,
I
and they
guess it didn't really
bashed
do
it.
too well.
Yeah, because they bashed it right off the bat. I remember because I played Wildlands, which is the
Yep.
predecessor to that,
Yeah, I have
and
one of those,
loved that game. And I don't really play at that time. I never really played games kind of like that,
too.
third person, over the shoulder, sort of run around,
Yeah.
kind of Ubisoft's thing actually.
yeah.
And then the second one came out, and everyone hated it. And they did too much. They changed too much from Wildlands. But then I played it like a couple months after release, and they had already kind of patched a lot of that stuff. And I played it a couple months ago, even, and I was like, I don't know. You got to get used to a couple of the things, but it's not. But gamers just.
Oh yeah, so a lot of people want to just complain. Like
Yeah.
I still want to pick it up, and like a lot of people, like I've seen like the criticism, but some people are like, I don't think that this is worth $80. But
Oh, yeah, not.
like they mentioned the things like when it goes on sale for $20, it's a pretty good game for $20.
It's definitely worth that. Yeah. That's what happened for me actually. I bought Far Cry 6 like a month ago or 2 months ago because it went on sale for I think it was $17 or something. And I read reviews, and some people were like, honestly, if you're getting it on sale, get it. It's still a Far Cry game, but same type of thing. People hated it when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing that I had a problem with was it Wildlands?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the first one. Like I take you played that on console, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, on PC, like there's a few of us that had it on PC, and fucking the issue that happened was the game progressively got more broken. Like my game started running worse and worse, and then like our buddy D-Man there, he used to play the game, and I've seen it, and he was running at like a solid 60, sometimes almost 80 FPS. And then near the end when they were getting ready to release Breakpoint, his game was only running at 20 frames.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
that's gross.
Yeah, and then I was running into the same issue. I was running my 1080 ran a little bit better than his 580, but it was wild because I went from like 100 frames down to I think 40, sometimes 20 as well. And I haven't played it since, but like it was really frustrating for that. It's just like patches usually fix things.
Yeah, how do you
Especially that-
unoptimize it?
Yeah, especially that far into development too.
Yeah, unless they put all the resources to the new game knowing it was coming out, and based on the launch of the new game, people saying, well, it ran shitty too, but also they didn't like some of the content, blah blah blah. But I wondered maybe if that happened. I mean, I'm not a developer. I don't know how this shit works, but
True. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part too, is that, a lot of people complain, especially like for myself, I play Tarkov. Well, I haven't played in a while now, but Tarkov, and if there's one thing, Tarkov and Call of Duty, if you're on social media, especially like Twitter, oh man, it's just like a consistent thing of streamers complaining all the time. Game's broken. Game's broken. Game's broken. It's like, holy man, it's like the content creators are so, especially like, it sucks. I hope if I were to ever become a content creator, like a really famous one, I hope I don't get locked into a specific game, because holy crap, the garbage content that you have to flush out to your subscribers and viewers is just it's just, I don't know.
And I think you get a
Head.
little jaded when you're playing the same game too much, because I find that, so you're talking about Tarkov, and I'm not a Tarkov player. I mean, I just built my PC, like finished it like, a couple months ago. And I have some friends that play Tarkov, and learning curve is high, obviously, for a pretty high simulation style game like that. But the cheaters in it, and I've heard like the devs for it are kind of not very transparent about what's going on and how they can fix it, and it's like this whole thing.
Yeah, and sorry for cutting you off a little bit, but that's one of the other issues, though, is that these people that love the game so much, they throw so much shade at it that after a while, all you hear, like, from my understanding, they're consistently getting rid of, like, they actually show like Excel sheets of all the users that they've banned in like this week or this amount of time, and I feel like they've gotten that out in control, in my opinion, on that. But the issue is, like, for yourself, when you have buddies talking about it, sometimes that bad news, it just kind of almost fogs over the game for a long time, even though that subject could be well more or less dead.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the shitty thing, because it's just like, oh, I wonder what Tarkov's like. Oh, I just see a lot of shitty things. Well, I guess the game hasn't really changed. Even though that game could have changed, it's just all this negative stuff goes towards it.
Yeah. And sometimes, honestly, playing those games, even during those shitty, like, if a game's kind of just coming out too, I feel if you play it during those shitty times, it's almost more fun. Like, I remember PUBG landed on console, and back Xbox One, and so it ran shitty, and the pop-in was horrible, and you'd land in a building and glitch through the floor because it hadn't loaded in yet. But like, I played that game so much, and I wish I could go back to it now, but I don't have anybody that wants to play it. But yeah, I think playing through some of those earlier, like, especially because some of those games come out and they say, oh, this is the the beta version, and it's kind of always in pre-alpha, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of those games where it's always updating.
A very hot topic. Yeah.
And I think sometimes playing through them like that is fine. But yeah, you're right. Especially content creators that specialize in one game, they're always so jaded and just kind of pissy about everything. And it's like, man, remember when you played games to have fun? Like, why can't you just play a game to have fun now?
Yeah. The one game or two games that I'm excited about, that it's on the back burner right now, and I know that you have at least one of them. That's Phasmophobia and Sons of Forest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Sons of Forest. I never bought it.
So those two games I know me and Code have. But, we, especially Phas, I should back up a little bit. Phasmophobia, all of us have played that pretty religiously for a while. Well, it's been a minute. Since it came out. We've definitely got our money's worth on that one. Oh, yeah. The one thing that I like about games like that, as much as it's also frustrating seeing just a wow, I'm just like Joe Biden here. The one thing I like about these beta games or these pre-made games that get out is that it's consistently evolving, so you can step away from it for a while and then go back to it, and it's either a new game or they just added so much
New mechanics.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But also at the same time too, it's very frustrating when all these developers are just consistently just doing that. Like you can't almost get a fully fleshed out game nowadays. Like honestly, and again, I talk about this on this podcast a lot. Is Resident Evil? I love that series. The one thing
What?
that I
don't like that game. You never played
Yeah.
that.
You told me you hated those games.
yeah, sorry, yeah. The one thing that I tell everyone now, again, slightly biased, but Resident Evil 4 remake, that is one of the best AAA title games that I've played in I want to say years now. And not only that, but I felt like I got my money's worth on that $80.
Yeah, and it wasn't very buggy, was it?
No, it's just like Capcom just went out and made a fucking game, and like and it seemed like they did a pretty damn good job of, like, if there was any issues, it was people really pushing to find it. Like there was like, like your typical speed runners, right? They're gonna find ways to manipulate the world to get through it faster.
Oh, of course,
those were
yeah.
those were like the updates that they were fixing. Like there was one where you had a sniper rifle, you aim down at the ground, and you could clip through the door and then completely cut out a whole section. They're like, yeah, we'll stop that immediately. But it's just like, it was just crazy to be able to play a game that felt extremely polished, very, very well done, and yeah, just a good experience AAA title, which I feel like I haven't had that experience in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I've been talking about that like the last couple of weeks about how there hasn't been a single, like barely any AAA titles released recently that haven't been a total shit show. Just last week I was mentioning Jedi Survivor. It just came out, and apparently it's just a fucking disaster on console. It's like, it's running like shit.
You say that my brother-in-law plays it on a Series S, and I don't know, he hasn't said any problems. He says he hears that.
I think what was going on was PlayStation. I think they said something about PlayStation optimization, but I think it was on PC as well. I don't know, something was going on. The game obviously wasn't optimized, but again, this could just be people being babies. Like, some guys are used to fucking 200 frames a second, no matter what. They're playing at, with 240p or 240 FPS monitors and shit. Like, those are the crazy Twitch streamers that are rich as fuck, So they've got all this stuff. Whereas like a guy like me that's playing on a 60 hertz monitor, I'm not gonna be like, oh, this just doesn't look right.
Yeah,
it's only running at 68 frames.
One thing, and I don't know if you've experienced it yet with your new computer there, Wish, but I've been playing actually more Cyberpunk 2077,
right?
And it's been a minute since I last played, and like all the other games have, like usually are indie games or like Resident Evil where it actually is optimized really good, so my computer runs it fairly well. But Cyberpunk, like, and again, I've been playing a lot of third-person games lately. Man, I don't even know how to explain it. I was almost getting a headache because of when I was playing Cyberpunk, because of like I was running at like 30, 35, 30 frames or something like that at 1080.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like that inconsistency of the frames. And it was actually like, I don't know, I was like getting I don't even know what to call it, but I was just like, it almost felt sick. Like I was almost getting motion sickness from the frames dropping.
Yeah.
And it's, oh man, I'm hoping one day at this point it's more of a dream of having a new computer someday.
I played Cyberpunk because I got it like $20 or whatever. Mm-hmm. I got it after they did I did it before. Like I said, I have a Series X, so I got it before they actually did the next gen update, and then they like full on, did all their optimizing or whatever. And I feel like sometimes playing games on console, like I don't play a ton on my computer, and I just built it, and I want to play more games, but sometimes the optimization on the consoles where you don't have to mess with any settings or anything like that, you just kind of play and you get the setting performance or resolution, and I just run it performance because now I'm a 60 frames per second elitist, and it's better than I have a friend that's like, oh, anything under 120 I can't fucking play. So like I played Cyberpunk after that and ran good the whole time. I think it crashed on me a couple times, but once again that was like right after that update.
Who's your 120? Who's your 120 friend?
You wouldn't know him. I don't even know him in person.
Oh, it's a different. I thought you were talking about like somebody you knew, like from our friends.
No, not from our friend group. It's So actually, I know this guy through my brother-in-law's friend, who was friends with this guy's friend, but they didn't like that friend that much, so then they started hanging out more. And he lives like in Moose Jaw or something. So, but consistently play games with him online all the time.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. But you were saying about feeling sick when playing it. I think the game is like unbelievably gorgeous. Like I get what they were trying to go for it. It's like it's hitting that bar, trying to raise the bar of graphic fidelity and all this crap. Ray tracing, like they're trying to hit every metric, and if you can run it, like it looks really good.
Oh, I know, man. Like I see videos, but oh man.
Yeah, it's like it's the new
Crisis.
Well, it used to be I was like, can it run Crisis? Now it's like, well, can it run Cyberpunk? And it can look good, but I mean, if you gotta shell out to get a fucking 4090 to get it to run. I think they've done better with its optimizing, but I played it on a console that I paid $600 for, and at 60 frames it ran good, and I didn't really care much about it.
Yeah, it played good.
Yeah.
I also have news for you, Ryan, too. Do you want to finish your thought first?
Yeah, I'll just finish off with just like I think it's I'm so used to having that weird consistency of 60 or higher, and then having now dropping below like it's that 60 frames elitist thing maybe, but like it's like it bugs my eyes. It's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Did you turn
and
motion
with all
blur off?
Well, I always do.
Yeah, good. It should come off by default.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know. Like, I get people like, oh, I like motion blur. It helps with the frames, and I get it, sure, but I don't know. I always feel like I can't see jack shit when motion blur is on. I turn, and all of a sudden, I'm blinded.
Yeah, that's how the frames keep normal because you can't see jack.
Yeah,
it's just so fuzzy.
Fucking hate motion blur.
Cody, I actually had something before you moved on. I actually wrote that down too. I wanted to talk about recent AAA titles being so shitty. So I actually didn't know that much about the new Star Wars Jedi game, that it kind of ran shitty. I heard on certain computers, some people were having issues.
Yeah.
But did you know anything about Redfall?
Yeah.
God.
I haven't played it or anything, but I heard it was. Like
I've seen a lot of videos on it.
Moist Critical made a fucking video talking about how shit it is.
Yeah, I actually watched him play it, and he was to a point where he was just going to stop playing it because he had enough. Like it was so bad.
I can't do it. It's fucking unplayable. This is bullshit. I gotta get a refund.
I think too, like this kind of leads into companies when they're promoting their stuff, because I remember seeing the trailer for Redfall and I was like, oh shit, here we go, another 2 to 4 player game, you're full squad, you're killing vampires,
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be like super cool, and they promote it really well, and then it launches and it's like a fucking PS2 AI,
Yeah, and the crazy thing on it, when I was looking on Steam, normal price for that game is $90.
Oh,
not 80.
Wait,
90.
Wait. Is Redfall a AAA title?
Yes.
I thought it was
supposed to be.
I thought it was an indie dev. Redfall is a AAA title.
It is I can't remember their company name. But they Dishonored and
Oh, well,
like it's
Bethesda was
yeah,
behind
it's like
Dishonored.
it's
Arcane Austin.
Arcane Austin, that's what it is. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Arcane had, they
subsidiary.
were in some of that shit. But yeah, so I also heard a thing because it was a big Xbox thing, like Microsoft was the company that owns them. So they were
Yeah.
promoting it and shit. And then I don't know if you saw Phil Spencer, the kind of head honcho at Xbox's
Yep.
PR and shit. He was talking about it and was just like, yeah, it was a flop. We got to do better with our marketing around this. And it was, I mean, that was nice to hear.
I thought he was gonna make Redfall is game of the year for sure. It was really fun.
No, apparently he was pretty candid in the interview he was in, and he's just like, yeah, it's unfortunate situations that happen, blah blah blah. And, it's all kind of PR jargon, but
yeah, saving face, but also he's not gonna. If he just lies and be like, yeah, it's great. I don't know what you're talking about. He'll pull a
that's worse for him.
Yeah, he'll pull a Blizzard from 2016 or whatever when they had the Diablo Immortal thing, and they're like, what? Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, that's not a good response.
Fucking nuked. Got nuked at BlizzCon.
And so I wanted to that was bringing up, like, what do you guys think about how these gaming companies are like promoting their shit? Because Phil Spencer brought up how they need to be promoting them more, showing actual in-game footage.
Yeah,
because I don't think there was anything about this game before they dropped Redfall.
No, that's all I saw was just like when it showed trailers, it was just like an image or a video of a vampire like doing an attack, but like you couldn't see it doing the attack at the player or whatever. It was just like a close up, like bust image of the vampire just shooting its powers or something like that. It was not hardly any kind of actual gameplay.
It was the same thing with Cyberpunk too, but that one pissed me off more because they promoted it like 2-3 years out of development. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's a huge.
You don't have a game at that point. Like, why? And selling specific Xbox Ones for it, and then the game can't even fucking run on the thing.
No, dude, I fucking rant on that all the time about. I hate how this is the one thing I will say good about Nintendo is that when Nintendo released a trailer, that game is coming out within a year at least. Usually 6 months. Bethesda does. Whoa, bastards! They released a teaser for the Elder Scrolls 6 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. They released a teaser, and we got nothing. And yes, I understand the whole saving face, and they're just like, look, we are working on something, I swear, to keep the investors happy. But like, holy shit, that's just.
They got a couple guys in a room talking, hey, should we start Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, well, from what they've been saying, they started it about 6 months after Skyrim. So they're 12 years in already to development. So they're just going a little bit overboard, but they did, like, what was that other one? Star Citizen, the one with Mark Hamill. What was the one with?
I don't know that.
It was a live action one. Ryan knows it.
It's Star Citizen.
Is that Star Citizen that had Mark Hamill in the original trailers and shit?
Maybe it's a single player version. That's called something else, but it's in the Star Citizen world.
Yeah, but they teased that for years. It flopped, and like the Starfield
still in development.
Is it still in development? I heard that they lost they lost all the guys though. I heard something about like they won't have any celebrities in it because they got dropped because of money. But
it's hard to say.
I don't know
because I think they're making a stupid, ridiculous amount of money still in that game.
Yeah, well, that like the thing is, it's just my point is they tease these games years in advance, and it's like, just don't do that. Just if you got something to show us, have it be a year out, because eventually people are just gonna get pissed off. Like the Elder Scrolls, I don't know a single person that's like excited for the Elder Scrolls to come out right now. Like, I mean, yeah, we're gonna be hyped when it does come out, sure, but like, just they've been fucking teasing us for like a decade. It's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, the hype train came when then they put another, half-ass little teaser about it. Hey, remember, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
Came, went. It's oh shit, what game I was just thinking about? It was kind of like Gotham Knights did that too. That was another game that like they teased like
Oh,
3-4
yeah.
years before it was released, and then when it was released, it was like, oh, this game's kind of shit. I mean, I played through it, but I mean, it was not really. It didn't feel like, and it wasn't supposed to, but it didn't super feel like an Arkham Batman game.
Oh yeah.
But like it had its own cool things about it for sure. But then them dropping the 60 frames per second, they're like, this will only be 30 frames. Then they dropped the old consoles. It's only on the newer consoles or computers. So
Yeah, that was like Cyberpunk. It got dropped from like PS4, I think, and maybe the old Xbox, because like when it got released, it literally could not run on the PS4.
Yeah.
So all the people that had a PS4 copy got a refund. But the little thing I wanted to say to Ryan there was, I'll say it to both of you, of course, but it's I got a new winner. DayZ is no longer on top, Ryan,
Yeah.
as the pre-alpha meme game at this point.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's a new winner, a new contender in the alley.
I was gonna say, to be fair with DayZ, DayZ's been out of development for what, like 2 years now?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's been released, but
Yeah.
it was like the meme that it was in development for so long in alpha and stuff. But no, there's a new winner, boys. The new winner is, because I just checked on it recently, is 7 Days to Die.
Hey,
Jesus.
let's be real though. Have you played 7 Days to Die?
I played it when it launched, and then I played it a few years ago, and it was not very good. But it's probably better now. I will give you that. I will, but
it's pretty fun. It's all right. I'll say that. But I played it on console.
Yeah.
And they dropped because there was a company that ported it, right? But then that company went under or some shit. So then like it was dropped on console. There was no updates past a certain point. So if you try and play it on console, you're back to whatever it is, because they're at what, Alpha 21 or something's getting released. I forget what it is.
Yeah,
it's still Alpha.
Something. Yeah. Yes.
But I think they're going to continue just doing that. I don't think they're going to just release, because every update just is, it's a new alpha, when really if they just release the game, here's a new update,
Yeah, that's technically what DayZ does.
I know, but that's the thing. They need to release a full game eventually. My joke about it is, as of December 13th this year, it will be an alpha for a decade.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's been an alpha for
out for 10 years.
Yeah, I played it in 2014.
DayZ's been out for 10 years, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think DayZ was 2012. The standalone started going, but I literally picked it up in like early 2014, but it was released in December of 2013. 7 Days to Die in alpha.
Oh shit, you're right,
dude.
Yeah.
I just found out something interesting. This is great, greasy. That's a good word for it. Since they released the game, they have officially said DayZ was released in 2018.
Right.
That's a lie. It came out. I remember. We have videos going back to 2013.
Oh yeah. I think we were playing it in like 2012, like late 2012.
Yeah, late 2012, 2013, one of the two.
For sure, we were playing in 2013 because I have videos. So yeah, like they probably are saying it was released in full. That's when it went out of beta and it went to actual,
went to alpha.
well, that's when it went out. It went out of beta and it went to actually a full game in 2018. Like it was sold as a full game, because it was an alpha for quite a while, and then it went to beta for like a couple of years, or 3 or 4 years maybe. But then I finally got a full release in 2018. And that's
I will say, sorry for cutting you off there.
No, that's fine.
7 Days to Die definitely looks a lot different compared to the last time I saw it.
Oh yeah, no, it's literally like a completely different game than it used to be. Like I said, it was kind of weird and interesting when it came out. Like I didn't mind it. It was just weird though, but it was
Yeah.
it was like Minecrafty and like
It reminded me
Yeah.
of Gary's mod with Minecraft,
yeah, and
I
zombies.
could see that.
which is like what
And
Rust
zombies.
was.
But
Yeah.
I watch a YouTube channel that one of their series is they're playing 7 Days to Die, but they play a mod. God, I forget what the mod's called, but it adds the person who made it actually came onto their channel to play it with them a couple times,
Oh,
and it adds like different models, and so like there's a succubus, and it's like this flying lady that's pretty freaky. There's like these huge octopi. They're all technically correct, just so you know. There is no actual plural of
whoa!
octopus. Any of them work before Cody comes in and has to correct me.
Well, according to Spenny,
Yeah, he does any.
octopi. You wouldn't say octopuses.
And they added demons, a couple new weapons, and I think it's just one guy doing the development for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, but have
It's
what?
it's things like that though that can save a game, like the mods, just like DayZ. If you play DayZ on PC and like use the mods, like use the community servers, like it changes that game drastically.
Oh yeah, it's
Mhm.
great. And then the community kind of makes their own game out of it.
Yeah.
Like the
Well, that's how PUBG, that's how
Yeah.
they became a thing.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
copied Fortnite. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Actually, I think PUBG they were before Fortnite, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. It was pretty much. I think they took the DayZ engine and kind of ran off of that, and then made
Yeah.
their own thing.
Yeah, it was Arma 3,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Or
Well, I
I'm
thought
not too
DayZ
sure.
was Arma 3 and then
Yeah,
PUBG was
DayZ is Arma.
DayZ.
Yeah, that could have been it
I
because
think it's all the same
DayZ
shit.
had a similar thing.
yeah.
Like they had like their own kind of Hunger Games style event going on for a little while.
Yeah.
And technically,
I-
Fortnite, the game, the Save the World version of it had been out for a while, but the Battle Royale version came out after PUBG.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the Battle Royale was a free to play from the start in like
Yeah.
beta, and then it just fucking took off. And I always tell people that I called that because I remember playing the beta and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this game is smooth. Like it played really smooth. And then yeah, it's huge. It's the biggest game in the world right now. It still is. Quite a few years running. I don't think I could ever play it now because everybody's too goddamn sweaty at it.
Hey, there's a no build mode.
Yes, I
so.
did hear about that. I'm like, but
Yeah.
There's more bots in the game.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But the other problem I have is also that there's a million different weapons and shit that they've added.
Oh, and there's like those weird ones, like when they partner with animes, and it's like that one guy's got these hooks on his hips or something. Forgive me, I don't watch anime, but it like shots people around.
Attack on Titan, yeah.
Oh, you're an anime connoisseur, are you?
Yeah,
I think-
I watched some hentai.
I think the one thing that frustrates me, and it's not like even the games, it's the fact of
White
how
people.
sure it's the fact that that whole, especially when after the pandemic or during the pandemic, there's the the term sweaty players,
Yeah.
and I just like, I'm not great at games as it is, but it's just like it's kind of like, it's shitty because I feel like I might just turn it into a fucking casual gamer, or like it's just, I don't know, like
If you can't put in the 6 hours every day to get good at the game, you're kind of
Yeah.
out of luck.
Yeah.
You're just getting
Yeah.
demolished.
it's that, and like I go back. It's funny because it's just like Tarkov. Tarkov's such a hardcore fucking stress reduced, like stress intensified game, and it just fucking beats the shit out of you and throws you out. But I somehow keep on going back. But I just know, like, there's some people that will just blame anything, blame the fucking lag, blame fucking say it's a hacker or whatever. I feel like I'm always the opposite. I'm always blaming myself more than anything. It's like a self-awareness, you know, like I'm playing this game. I know I'm fucking shitty, but I guess I'm still doing it. And then some guy will be like, "Oh, you fucking suck at the game. Get the fuck lost." And I'm like, "What the fuck do I do? What do I go? Yeah, man, I do suck at the game. Do I just do like a reversal, like a weird psychological thing on them? Be like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Well, can you give some of that self-awareness to my brother? Because he needs some.
Oh,
He's hacking. He's definitely hacking.
Exactly.
oh,
I think he just shot you more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should play Overwatch with us, Kory.
Oh, I
I
have.
was gonna say, I think you did once. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Christ's sake.
Yeah, Ryan. Same thing. Like, I play a lot of Apex Legends, and I'm not that good. And I play on console, and because there's no cross progression, so I can't go over to PC. But there's like it's hard because I have a lot of hours into the game, but that doesn't mean I'm particularly good. And they've been doing updates to its matchmaking and stuff. But the one guy I play with mostly, like he plays on PC, so I'm in PC lobbies all the time. And there's different movement tech on the PC version, which just seems wild to me. And so it's people will bind this movement to their scroll wheel, and it's called tap strafing. And it's pretty much, physics. If you jump forward, you're going to keep going forward. It's a way that they can traverse like corners or completely turn around by using this movement tech. Oh. So they'll jump at you forward, and then they'll all of a sudden 90-degree be to your right, and you can't even see them. Like it's just like that. Just it's so quick. Or they'll come at you, you're shooting at them, and then they just whip around and they turn around. And
that shit,
but they're in the
mind.
air. And so it's one of those things where even he's on PC. He's like, man, I just can't. I'm not going to spend the time to learn this movement tech. But then you're almost at such a disadvantage that this is in this game. And it didn't start as a actual like movement tech thing. It's a bug essentially. And then they said they were going to take it from the game.
It's a feature now.
Exactly. Well, because famous streamers that play this game a lot were like, why the fuck would you get rid of this? Blah, blah, blah. And then they got rid of a movement thing. So it's, say you're sliding down a hill. If you turn around and you punch the ground, it would like act like you were actually hitting the ground, and it would make you go a little bit faster. But I mean, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. You're turning around. But they took that out. So on console, you can't do that. But then on PC, you can literally do a 180 in the air, even though you're flying forward. All of a sudden, you turn around backward. So it's like you need to try and get better at these games so that you can be competitive, but you don't have the time. B, you're like, I just want to play the game, kill some people, not get super pissed off at the game. But fun. But it's like you said, like during the pandemic, especially like right before pandemic, and now it seems like everyone's just gotten so fucking good at games that you can't be a casual. At least at any multiplayer game.
No, like any of those games, like any kind of battle royale, like Call of Duty Blackout, it's what's called Warzone now, and like Fortnite, Apex, even Overwatch, for fuck's sakes, like any of those games that are competitive, like you gotta play your heart out in like every match to even get top 10. Like in the match, like it's ridiculous how good people are. Like, I couldn't believe it. There was remember that vampire game I had you guys try once?
Yeah. Like, I want to go back to it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was infested with hackers. Maybe it's better now. I hope so. It's a great game. I like it. But, like, I got a few victories at first when nobody knew about the game. But then as soon as it blew up a little bit, fucking just sweats. Like, just the craziest, most aggressive people, and they're just like crazy shots. And some of them were hackers. I did catch some video of one hacker in particular, but it's always hard to call hacks, right? Because people are just good.
Yeah. That's always one thing that blows my mind is when I watch videos that, like, to me, like, they're just really good at the fucking game.
Yeah.
But some of the trick shots and like the 180 shots and stuff like that. Like that's it. Like that's impossible for me. That
Yeah,
is just what
right?
it is. Like sometimes I have a fucking hard time. Like I'm almost going cross-eyed, just fucking aiming down a sight for fuck's sakes. It's like you're sitting there like, oh, I got a clean shot, and I fucking miss every shot. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And the guy just turns around and beams me. Fucking yeah, so frustrating. I guess and like a big thing for us in our group is how we really focus on these indie games. Because that's the one thing that I've been enjoying more and more is, again, like Phasmophobia or even Sons of Forest.
Yeah, they're
A lot of
cooperative
these
experiences. They're not.
yeah, cooperative. It's kind of a nice, and it's just like I always make the joke, and almost like a good excuse for Kyle to your brother there to play the game because
Yep.
maybe there's a chance he won't fucking be screaming fucking Satan fucking halfway through a match.
Well, and that's what I've said, man. If you're so goddamn upset that you're like smashing your controller and stuff, like just don't play. Like at that
Yeah.
point, you're not having fun. Like
Yeah.
me, like Overwatch, for example. I get pissed off at Overwatch, but like I actually have fun when I'm playing with my group. When I have a group, it's fun. But there's times where it's like we'll quit because we'll be like, yeah, we're too pissed off. We're getting too pissed off.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, that's
you gotta have fun.
the unfortunate part with your brother is like there'll be times where your bro would be like, "Hey, let's get in I'm in the group chat, let's chat or something like that." And like I'll see he's like playing like Overwatch or some kind of competitive game,
Yeah.
and I'll really be hesitant to even want to join the group chat because I'd be like playing Raft or fucking or Stranded or
Some
The Forest or
game.
something. Just a chill game, right? And then your brother's just screaming Hail Mary on the other fucking end. It's like, yeah, I think I'm done. I'm getting exhausted from your brother getting exhausted from yelling.
Oh, I know. It does get exhausting.
Yeah.
Needs a chill pill, that's for sure. But yeah, I gotta wrap here soon. But Kory, you said you were gonna call me out, so I want you to call me out.
Okay.
Everybody, timestamp is in the description below. 1 hour, 2 minutes in.
It's not a call out.
This is where the
Beat the shit out of him.
Rip his head off. Rip his head off.
Okay, hold on.
Shut up, Chad.
Hold on. Before you're too angry at me, I just got listed the Rocky inspirational quote, so I don't get sad. There is no tomorrow. Damn, Rocky.
What the fuck?
Come on, you don't remember that? Come on.
No, I don't remember that.
Come on, Carl Weathers. He's hyping him up. And then Rambo's like, he doesn't want to train anymore. He's like, no, tomorrow. He's like, damn, Rocky. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Full disclosure, I've never watched a single Rocky movie.
Oh. Well, you got to get on that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not going to do the piece of shit thing. Go like, you fucking idiot. You never watched that.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, you never watched
Okay.
Santa Claus 3 with Martin Short? Fuck you.
No, I've watched it.
I'm just kidding. I love that movie.
I watched that. That was an alright movie.
The first one was the best. But
Oh,
anyways,
for sure.
so let's hear this perspective.
Okay, so you were talking about Boba Tea a couple episodes ago now. Maybe 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And it was just the podcast became Angry White Guy, where you're just complaining about things. So you're talking about boba tea, and one of the things you said, why when something's popular does like 10 stores of the same fucking thing pop up? And I was like, because it's popular. Like, what do you mean? You answered your own question. It's like, do you remember frozen yogurt?
Yes.
Yep.
But that was
Can you find one now?
no, but that was my point. That's my point, is that it pops up, but then once the fad's over, all these guys go out of business. So they like
Yeah, but why do you care?
well,
You're not the one going in business.
Well, that's
You
the-
get to just enjoy whatever fucking thing they bring to you, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, I like this," or "Oh, I didn't like that," and then just live your life.
I don't enjoy it. It's anal beads. Actually,
Anal beads.
full disclosure, they taste all right. But no, you're right.
So-
you're right. I was more trying to be funny than anything.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah, I
but
figured.
But
I was also joking.
But it was like, it is true that like you said, that was my example too, was the frozen yogurt thing, because like we used to have like what med cheese. I can't remember the other ones, but there was like
Yeah, there was 2 or 3.
yeah, frozen yogurt was huge, and we don't live in a huge city, so it's like it's not like like in a big town like Calgary or something, there'd be 400 frozen yogurt
Right.
places.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon, but for a place that we live in, it's like 3 or 4. That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we have like 2 dozen liquor stores, but
Yeah, I'm like 4 McDonald's or more and
800
A&W's.
800
You got a
weed
fucking
stores.
Popeyes that closes at fucking 8 o'clock.
Fuck, does that piss
Sorry,
me off? Fuck, does that
Listen,
piss
all I
me
want
off?
is my munchies after I get my dope.
But speaking of ethnicities, there's apparently there's a Filipino restaurant I need to try. It's called. Well, we were talking about boba tea.
Yeah, I know, but just speaking of ethnicities,
Yeah, like
we didn't really.
in particular ethnic food. There's a
Okay.
It's what's it called? B-boy? Have you guys heard of it? B-boy?
No,
Are, those,
No,
are you talking about like
Jolly
buns?
Jollibee. That's what it's called.
Jolly.
Yeah.
Also, I wasn't done calling you out a little bit, but whatever.
Oh,
Oh, no,
keep
keep
going.
going.
Beat a shit.
Kick his ass, Mark.
Kick his ass, Dale.
Shut the fuck up, Charlotte. What's that movie from, Cody?
Shut the fuck up, Charlotte.
Yeah, kick his ass, Mark.
Is that
Shut
super
the
bad?
Fuck up. Yeah, at the party.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, and you're even talking about ethnicities right now. Well, I mean, like, look at the town we live in. There's a huge percentage of Filipino, Taiwanese, all these like that live in our town. Of course, there's gonna be these places pop up. And honestly, have you ever gone to Macau, or I'm probably butchering how you say it, but have you ever like gone there just Saturday midday?
I have before, yes.
It's a hangout, you know what I mean? Like, it's a hangout for people of this ethnic group. So I mean, it might not be for you, but I mean, you can't really shit on it when.
Oh no, for sure. But where does bubble tea become? Is it Chinese or Japanese?
I looked it up. Apparently, it originates in Taiwan. There's other like, it's either Taiwanese or Japanese. Like, I remember looking it up, and there was like a couple of conflicting things, but it seems kind of like Taiwan is more or less the most accepted.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That Jollibee, you guys could see the logo in the chat that I sent. It's a restaurant that it's not where we are, but it's usually
it's getting big in the States.
Yeah, and there's one in like Edmonton, I think, is the nearest location to us, and it's got like it's actually Filipino food. And I was like talking to my coworker who is Filipino. He loves it. He always goes there when he's in the city, and he's like, I'm like, well, what do they have there? Like, what kind of food then? And he's like, it's like fried chicken, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
When I look at that logo, I don't think fried chicken from the Jollibee. The Mickey Mouse from the 20s cartoon looking bee. I'm like, okay.
They say something. Oh yeah, I was seeing stuff on that. Like a lot of people are saying it's something about the gravy and the fried chicken. You dip the chicken in the fried gravy, and it's apparently one of the best things you could have.
Oh, I want to try it now. Like next time I'm in the city, I'm gonna definitely have to try that.
Mm-hmm. Let's
all go on a date together, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you want to say last minute, or?
I don't really have anything last. Oh, you know what? This last minute, but you can decide how much you want to talk about this. But it was just something that I haven't talked to anybody about.
Okay.
So, when my son was born last July,
yep.
Since then, like, I don't know if night times have been weird for me, because it's really the only time I get like more alone time because he'll be sleeping.
Yeah, peace.
So I end up staying up late, way too long. But I've been having like a lot more existential crisis than I've ever really had since I was like probably 12. I remember there's like a full summer one time when I was 12 or 13. Every night in summer, I was like contemplating what death was.
Yeah.
And just like the infinite nothingness. And it was like, it fucked with me. And I've been having that a lot again. And I just wondered if you guys had like experienced some different change in your life that made you, contemplate that. Like Cody, you have kids.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever like look and be like, oh shit, like one day they're not gonna have a dad or something? Because that's like what runs through my mind midnight, like almost every night.
Yeah, I don't like. I haven't had existential dread in like a long time. Like you said, when I was a kid, when I first like thought about death, it really screwed me up, and it was really weird. But like recently, it's like after having kids, it's not like I haven't like had anything like that. But it's like it makes me more aware to like threats around, especially around the kids, and
Hmm.
who's around them, and who interacts with them, and between like teachers and like preschool and stuff like that, and just like their uncles and aunties, and some of their aunties are single and some of them have boyfriends. It's like
Yeah.
you're just like you're always thinking about a million ways to die, like
I
trying to keep
as
knives away
someone that
from them.
as someone that doesn't have kids, I just have a dog that I act like he's my kid. But the one thing that it seems like the last few years, I think probably I think I want to say like just before the pandemic happened. Um, I feel like what's the best way to put it? the There's more and more. I feel like I see there's more and more reasons not to have a kid. Like I just does that sound weird? To maybe that sounds really
You know
weird. It's
what?
just like
I wholeheartedly agree.
it's just I've like I don't know. I shouldn't say I will never. I don't know if I'll truly understand. Like I guess that's another way of putting it. Understand or experience
Yeah.
what you guys will go through as being fathers. I go through my own thing with having a dog because, like, again, like I joke, but like that's like my kid. That's my main kind of.
Pets are not kids. You have no idea. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah.
When's the last time you changed your shitty diaper?
Yeah. When he fucking shits on the fucking floor, it's sure nasty. But the
No, it's
but
you're
but
not
it's
you're not wrong though, like in a lot of ways. And I see
'cause,
what you're saying. I do.
I guess I should be a little bit more uh explain this a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's for us, well, we grew up in a generation where we were just getting into social media, where your kids are going to be. That's the biggest thing right now. Is social media is just devours your kids'
Oh,
minds. You know
oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
they're molded by it.
TikTok and stuff. Yeah, molded by it. Like
Yeah.
there's some people like I was talking to a coworker today and they were talking about how they had to give their phone back to their kid because their kids were having suicidal thoughts and and uh, and getting extremely depressed because other kids because they took their phone away from their kid
Yeah.
because they were being a dumbass, right, being a kid. And they took their kid's phone away from them, and then all of a sudden the kids' friends are like exiling them from their group because they don't have a phone. They can't Snapchat. They can't talk, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's just like you're getting berated because you don't have a cell phone. Like you can't communicate and you can't be friends. Like that's the kind of where this next generation's going. Is like you need to have this device, or else you're just like you're kind of outcast, and that's like it's one thing is that's like a mental stress on a kid, but like that's another thing for you guys that you have to eventually that like your kids are young, but eventually that's going to be a topic in scenarios that you're probably going to run into, and it's just like to me I just don't like I don't feel like I want to put myself into that scenario. Like some people don't have that choice. Accidents happen and stuff, but like I heartily just like
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to be a person that goes into, and again, like parenthood. Also, it's always a learning experience. You can't just be like, I know everything. It's you guys are gonna learn,
For
and
yourself. I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah,
but like,
nobody ever knows everything.
No.
yeah, but it's just like, I just couldn't see myself being into like, I don't know, It's something that's not on my mind anyways to have a kid right now.
And so you're bringing up social media. That's well, because like I work with teenagers,
Yeah.
and man, honestly, you're right. That's like one of the things that probably scares me the most because
Yep.
kids can be fucking assholes. Like you have no idea what some of these kids are saying to other kids. And I think probably the biggest thing that we can do as like generations that are going to be teaching our own kids how to use social media is just like actually teach them. I think the issue was social media just happened. And remember, I didn't have to ask my parents for Facebook or Instagram or anything. It was just something you did.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what's happening with some of these kids. And some of the kids, especially if like they're neurodivergent in any way or, you know, like they don't know how to process the information properly. So there will be, for example, a kid that's in a group chat with somebody. They have no idea who they are. The person's in fucking the US, you know, thousands of miles away, and they're shit talking them and they're feeling really down on themselves about it. They don't even know this fucking person.
Yeah.
But then you're like, why don't you just block them? And that thought has never even crossed their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they haven't been taught any of these things that we've just experienced as being kind of earlier adopters of social media, seeing as how it happened during our generation.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, just as upcoming parents or new parents, that's something we have to keep in mind is we need to actually like properly show our kids how to use this shit in ways that they don't get depressed when they don't have it and they know proper boundaries and you know, all that.
The other thing, I guess, going into this topic of the social media and like influencers, let's say, hopefully we're not cutting you too much there, Cody, but
No, that's okay.
The one thing also I was kind of curious and get your viewpoint on this, Wish, is, you know, the last few years, like, you know, the trans community has become bigger and bigger, and there's this very confliction talk of like, you know, kids and trans, you know, kids being trans, and then like, you know, I just feel like it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah. So I already know where you're going to kind of go with it too. And like not as hateful people or anything like that. It's just like maybe just a bit of a misunderstanding. One thing you got to know about kids, especially teenagers, like what did you do as a teenager? You were trying to find out who you were. You know what I mean? But like being trans or anything like that, like having gender dysphoria, none of that was on your mind really. Just based on our generation too, and because it wasn't accepted as well.
Yeah.
So,
do you think sorry for cutting you off,
all good.
But just because I'm one of those guys that have it right on the end of my head, but mind. Do you think though maybe things would have been a little bit different? Because like we never, again, the influence side of things, we're to a point where we're a little, you know, we're adults and we kind of understand the, you know, like don't be taking influencers as serious, you know what I mean? As some kids where being so young they can get, you know, fucking really influenced. And you know, with this trans community, like like sometimes I just kind of curious because like you said, you know, we grew up and, you know, like I'll make a funny little thing that I remember when growing up was when emos were becoming a thing. And I remember there's a video on a news thing where there's like these it's like these kids that were acting like wolves or something like that. They're like emo wolves. And I remember that and I'm just like, you know, like I kind of laugh over it because it's like, okay, you know, like, you know, those people, I don't know. I'd like to hope maybe they figured out what they wanted to do and they've maybe, I don't know if they phased out of it. I have no idea. But do you think like I don't know, it's almost like adults are not taking certain responsibilities of like when to be like, okay, you're like, you're not actually like, there's a part of me that wants to put it, I'll put
you're
it
not
this way.
actually, you're not a wolf.
You're just, you say you're like, it's, you know, the trans thing again, this is such a touchy subject, but it's like, you say you're a woman, you want to be a girl or something and you're a guy, a kid, And is it you saying that, or are you watching a trans influencer that's just like, oh yeah, I'm a girl, and you're like, oh, I want to be that. But do you really, or are you just influenced by that?
Yeah, I would like to point out that we're all influenced by any of the shit we see. And
Mhm.
especially as kids, yeah, they're going to be influenced by that shit. But like I was saying, we like I remember as a kid, I wanted to connect with my dad a lot, right? So
Mhm.
things that I probably wouldn't have been into, cars, but my
Mhm.
dad was into cars. At one point, I started wearing like the Canadian tuxedo and a fucking cowboy hat because my dad got horses and he was like, "Oh, I'm kind of into this." So it's like it was a way for me to try and find out who I was while also trying to connect with my dad. And so that's what these kids are doing is like they're trying to connect, they're trying to find themselves, and they're trying to be a part of a community. And so if they feel like a community is accepting of them, I mean, they're going to try those things. Are there certain kids that I have seen that claim to be trans that I don't think are 100%, but I'm not going to deny them their own self exploration. That's not up to me. So, but there's also a statistic. I can't say exactly what it is, and I mean, take this with what you will, but it's
Yep.
something like it's something that anti-trans people kind of bring up is that oh, what about all the gender affirming care that makes it so these people can't retransition? They're like, oh, it was a mistake, sort of thing, and it's like the actual percentage of people that transition and then are like, oh shit, I don't know, maybe I was wrong. It's so much lower than people blow it out to be. So
Yeah.
like I don't really get the hate. I mean, and I guess it's because I work with kids and I have to. And I mean, I like being open minded, but it's kind of a requirement that of course they're going to be influenced by those people. I mean, I was influenced by fucking ACDC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're all going to be influenced by the shit we consume, and especially as teenagers, where their minds aren't even like your brain
Oh yeah.
doesn't finish developing until you're 25 years old or whatever it
Yeah.
is. So
I
Yeah.
guess by other thing to that is like okay, I'll do two examples. One is these kids that think they want to be like they don't know or whatever maybe they want to be a girl, but then their parents are like doing these hormone things. Like, is there a point where it's just like maybe like, hey, if you want to be a girl, that's fine, but shouldn't there be
yeah,
almost a responsibility of the parent being like, let's wait till you're older before we make those bigger changes.
yeah.
Dress and put a makeup and whatever you want.
So also with that, yeah, like, and I understand, and I think it's because it's still fairly new. There's not saying you're anti-trans, but that is something that
Yeah.
anti-trans people will bring up too. Is like,
Mhm.
well, that's bad for the kids. Like you're giving them hormone blockers and all this stuff. But there's a couple things. One is that I think it's there's gender affirming care that is like non-invasive in that way, but people always just associate it as the same thing. And so there's I think hormone blockers are the type of thing that if you take them, like you can stop taking them and then you'll be your body will revert back to what it was already doing. You know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those things where it's like, well, you can try it, but if you don't want to anymore, you can just stop. So it's not that big a deal. So why are other people worrying about this person's experience in their body?
Yeah.
Oh, there was something else, but I forgot it. Sorry, you had a second point?
Yeah, the second thing that I guess it's not related to trans, but it's I don't know what it'd be exactly associated to, but like where people, there's this whole thing of like people can be who they want to be, right? And like how far, I guess, in that spectrum do you go? Because right now, like I've heard of cases near, like, I shouldn't say cases, that's a rude way of putting it, but there's scenarios in around our area, and I've also heard of it in East Coast where like kids
Before
have been
you
one.
Before
What's
you
that?
even start, I already know what you're going to say. This is going to be the litter box thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this is also it's been debunked actually. Like this is a lie that's been spread. because if you go somewhere in the States, anywhere, like pretty much anywhere, and you ask somebody about it, be like, oh yeah, that happened at that school, like the next town over. And yeah, I can't confirm or deny, but I have like looked it up too, and it's been like pretty consistently debunked that it's just something that's kind of passed around. Kids are not wanting to shit in litter boxes at school, nor would any sort of school allow that. That is a health and safety issue.
See, that's what blows my mind. Is like,
I've seen the things too, and for me it was kind of a I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing, but it does seem to be a what you would say a right wing talking point or a hard right.
Yeah, it's more or less a way, like it was a talking point that could be brought up as a way to like really bring down actual the trans community. So then people are like, well, they can't be fucking cats, so why can they be the opposite gender? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
well,
I knew you were going to bring it up. That's funny.
I never really looked at the trans side of things when it came to that. It was just like more or less like,
what? And
where's the I guess
weird.
Where's the line? Yeah,
but kids aren't actually going to go out and be like, I'm a cat and I'm gonna meow meow meow. You know, like kids will do that, but they're fucking kids. Yeah. Like they're gonna be weird. I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't understand. Like kids are gonna be fucking weird. Trust me.
That's the thing, man. That's what I was gonna say. I have a theory on this. I think I've talked about it before on here, but my theory between the whole otherkin and scalies and all that stuff, like the dragon people, and my theory behind it is it's just doing what we did as kids, except now everything's recorded. So when we were kids, we used to make believe, you would like you'd make believe you'd Final Fantasy or something, or Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever you're doing, you'd be playing on a trampoline with your brother, and you'd be like, just like make believing that you were something, some sort of
exactly
thing. But I think everything is recorded now, so these kids are make believing, and then they're recording it, and then it's cringe, and then it gets
and then
spread.
There's the people that continue doing it as like a joke sort of thing, and then there's other people that like I said, sometimes neurodivergent people that don't understand when things are jokes. Or like when it's kind of like poking fun at a community of, say, furries, for example. I mean, I don't care if you're an adult and that's what you want to. I don't give a shit. But like, there's definitely kids that are neurodivergent that don't understand when somebody is making fun of a group. Which I'm not going to make fun of them either. I'm not saying that that's a good thing that people are making fun of, but it's just like not understanding the actual what's going on.
I always said that. And every time I have a controversial topic on the podcast, I always say at the end, I just say, do whatever the hell you want, but the moment you start telling other people what to do, or invading or hurting other people, then I have a problem with it. But as far as if you're just on your own, just be gay, bi, trans, a wolf, a dragon, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're not hurting anybody. If you're not hurting anybody and you're not forcing anybody else, like if you're forcing your teacher to call you like Mr. Kitterson, the kitty, or something, then that'd be weird. But like,
well, and it all depends on age too, because like you could see a 8-year-old kid in class randomly just being like, "Oh, I'm a cat. You have to call me a cat, Miss Whatever," and then it's like, "Oh, haha, you're funny," But I really don't think a lot of these, like, especially when they bring up the talking books, I really don't think any of these kids are wanting to be cats or anything. Like, do they want to wear the cat ears or something like that? Sure. But I really think it's just a lot of finding yourself. And if you like cats, I mean, sure, you're going to want to wear the fucking cat ears. I mean, I would have, if I, as a kid, I probably would have fucking done something like that. I don't care.
That's the thing. We all did that stuff. And that's the biggest problem too, that you will have to teach our children, and when they're at an older age, it's going to be more. I mean, with Victoria, she has a 10-year-old. Well, she'll be 10, or no, she is 10. She'll be 11. So we already have problems with her, and TikTok and cyberbullying and shit like that, and you got to have that talk with them and just be like, social media is not real. There's going to be a lot of people that are really mean on there. And the one thing for her, at least, I don't know if she still does it, but all of her videos were private. So only her mom could see them, you know? So there's no mean commenters. Now that's going to change when she's older, but you got to get in her mind now. And just like anybody could see your video on there. Anybody can comment. There's going to be rude stuff. Just don't reply to it. Block the people if you want to. But you can't feed the trolls.
Yeah. And social media can be a good thing, like as a way to express yourself, to find communities and stuff. But yeah, like as a parent, I think it's up to you to teach your kid about social media, which is what you don't see, which is why I think some of these things that happen, it's like, especially where I work, where you're like, dude, that's not real. Like, you got to understand that that's not real. Like, one time a kid showed me, it was a video, guy was on like a second story of a car park, and he's like, oh, I got this baby, and it was like a real baby. And then the next shot, it's clearly a fake baby or a dog or something, and he like boots it off of it, and it lands on the ground. He's like, oh, did you see that? And I was like, yeah, that's not real, man. But once again, he was on the spectrum and didn't understand because no one had told him that that wasn't real.
Well, and when you're young, you're very gullible usually too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, on top of that, you know, like, you're gonna believe a lot of this shit.
Yeah, and I just think it's so crazy, man. Like, even Roman, he's only 4 years old, but he's like, this blows my mind too. I will say, for all the kids, for Berlin, for my sister's stepchild Bree, for Roman, like the kids are into like scary stuff, like horror, like Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, stuff like that. It's huge with kids. You know, I don't know how to do it. Ryan's shitting his pants right now just talking about it.
Yeah,
man, I used to get scared of fucking commercials. I remember I watched the Ring commercial came on as a kid.
Oh, I know.
And the robes on the back door of my bedroom, like our bathrobes, looked like her hair.
Yeah.
And I would build a statue of pillows next to me and would turn over so I couldn't see it, because otherwise I'd have nightmares.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But like, there's. Sorry, Ron. I'll
let you go. Sorry, I got excited.
You sound like the grape crushing lady.
Hold on a second there, brother.
Hold on a second there, brother. I was gonna say, there's like one horror game that's like the Garten of Banban. It's like a kindergarten. It's kind of like the Five Nights at Freddy's for the new kids, but like, yeah, Roman knows all about it. He knows all the characters' names, and there's not like one. there's not like one character. It's like 20 different characters, and I'll just point at them. I'll be like, "Who's this guy?" And he'd be like, "That's Ban." I'm like, "Who's this guy?" "That's Nightmare Ban." I'm like, who's this guy?" "Jumbo Josh." And I think he's making shit up, but then I like look at it, but then I make it
fucking with you.
No, seriously, but then I look it up, and it's like the big green guy is literally called Jumbo Josh, and I'm like, how do you know all this? He could do like a podcast of lore on the Garten of Banban, like literally, and like,
that's funny.
You know, he watches so much goddamn Lanky Box, it's out of control. But yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah, I don't know. What?
Like
you were gonna say something, Ron?
Yeah.
Well, you were gonna say something. Well,
I've been always bad when it comes to like horror movies and stuff. Like, I get fucking jump scared easy, startled easy, fucking anything. Sister's completely opposite. Like, I remember, like, it blew my mind when she watched Blade in kindergarten. I'm like, you shouldn't be watching that, but like, how the fuck did you not watch it and cry? So I'm like, you can't do that. You can't be that fucking cool.
Yeah, Blade 2 as a kid was what fucked me up with the Reapers.
Oh my god,
because they split at the jaw. And those things were fucked.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was gonna wrap up though, guys.
Yeah,
so, that sounds good.
But we will have to have Kory back again sometime.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun having my first liberal discussion. You got that'll be your theme now. Every time you come back, you'll have
every time I go on the liberal.
You'll have to have something to. You're like, this pissed me off, and I'm
before you say this. So I saw a thing, and I identified with this. It was, you know, I'm not a certain type of political party. I just want everyone to have what they need.
I like that.
And I'm like, that's me. Like, I don't want to be subjected to just be, oh, you're just this party. I want a party or whatever that's gonna like help out the most people.
Well, that's why you voted for the
what I care
party
about.
in America.
I would have, honestly.
I'm
I
a
thought that
wild
was
party.
hilarious. All right, I'll let you wrap up though.
But yeah, no. Do you have anything to shout out? Do you still have your website?
I do, yeah. Fifthtap.com. It's still a work in progress. I've been busy, but we want to get going to some events. Hopefully this summer, I'll see if I can get some time off and be like a vendor at different car shows or like drift events in Edmonton.
That'd be sick, man.
But-
Do you have t-shirts or anything?
Yeah, we have a bunch of t-shirts. We don't have any like on hand because it's drop shipping, so it's just by order.
Yeah.
But t-shirts, sweaters, hats. I think our designs, honestly, I love them. I mean, obviously, because I was the one that helped make them, or get them made and had the ideas for some of them. But yeah, we wanted to start something that wasn't super cringy. You see those shirts. Cody, you and I talk about.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I'm a Saskatchewanian, and that's pretty much the best thing that's ever, and I think it's always cringy shirts and stuff. So we wanted something with cool designs, and we kind of specialize in anything, like jack of all trades, quads, skidoos, shit like that. We do have a YouTube channel. Pretty much. And we do have a YouTube channel, but we haven't posted much on there. I mean, like we all work and we're all busy, but
you had that video of you blowing up a truck, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. That one actually went pretty viral on Facebook. It had almost 1 million views or something.
Really? That's sick, dude.
Yeah, I think it hit like 700,000 or something. But yeah, check out Fifth Tapped. It can be either spelled like FIFTH or 5TH.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it should take you to any of our shit, Facebook, Instagram, any of that.
Do you have a website or it's just
we have a website.
It's social media. Okay, I thought you did.
Yeah, we have one.
Is it .ca or .com?
It's .com.
Okay.
Yeah.
GoDaddy?
No, it's what's it called? Shopify.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Shopify's good. Yeah, I'll have to grab one of those shirts someday.
Yeah, for sure. I'll get you a deal.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to get back on.
Hell yeah. And thank you everybody for listening. Remember, links to social media in the description below, and we will see you next week. Bye everybody.
I will see you there. See you on another time.
Peace. I got that reference.